Usually, okay, so full transparency, recording has actually just now started. So if you've been here listening,
Again, 31.19. Let me look at this one. This one had some semi-recent resistance. I wouldn't consider this one a pocket aces setup, but BLSK I do like above 530. That's a little ways to go from where it is right now, but I do have it on watch for that level. Let's look at ABVE here. Let me zoom out. Nah, this one's got too much recent resistance. I'm avoiding ABVE, even though it's been a beautiful trade so far this morning, and some people have already made some money on it. I'm avoiding it because of just look at all these resistance levels. You could plot so many different levels in here fairly easily. I just don't like this one, so I'm going to be sitting that one out. WINT, this one I definitely have been watching all morning, but it had some semi-recent resistance as well. But WINT could be pretty juicy above 172, and then just watch for that $2 psychological level. Yeah, I like WINT above $1.72. Open, obviously, I already texted this one out. The $1.83 ended up being a good breakout for us.
Nice.
You did hit 15% twice now, so you've had two different opportunities to take a 15% profit on open. Now, the $2 break, the 202 break, I didn't text out because there's just so many sell orders sitting here. People are happy to sell in the low $2 range right here. And some of them are massive orders. Look at that one, 200,000 shares being sold at 214, another 126,000 shares at 215. So there's just people are happy to start taking profit right in here. I think some people got in way earlier. If you were buying this yesterday, you're up 100% basically. So this one just has so many sell orders. It became more risky, and I didn't text a second breakout on it. But that first breakout was great for us, and it kept me 100% accurate this week on these text alerts so far. There's not too many weeks where you're literally 100% accurate, but we haven't had one fucking loser yet this week, so that's incredible. Let's keep going down the watch list here real quick, though. ETOG, too much recent resistance. I'm not going to pay it any attention. TDTH, I do think... Let me just make sure. TDTH, $1.26. I do like. No recent resistance. This one could be a blue sky breakout opportunity. TDTH above $1.26. That one's not enough volume. This one needs more volume. Very Veritone. This one has been on the Weeble top gainers list before. It just broke out. I know we've played this one before, but apparently not super recently. So Very right here back in late April. This one could be an entry opportunity right now on Very. VERI 224 was the breakout. You are still in a loading zone, and you're at the bottom of a loading zone right now. This one's a decent trading opportunity as we speak, and you get a pretty tight stop loss on it, because even if you took entry right this second, your stop loss would be less than 10% on this one. So you're getting a little better than a 1-to-1 risk-to-reward ratio here on Very. Let's see what their news is real quick. Semi-low volume, though. We need the volume to pick up. Of course, volume. Weeble didn't tell me the news. But Very is an opportunity right this second if you're feeling froggy. Just know that it's slightly low volume. BTCS, I am watching for 715, but it's not looking likely now that it's below the VWAP and 21 EMA. But ultimately, you can come over here, you can create your alert, and you can put an alert on it. And if it gets close to 715, BTCS does look nice at that level. And Rocket, I was looking earlier for the break of 323. It did break. This one, let me see. It does have enough volume. Over here, you had some semi-recent resistance a little more than a month ago. This one, Rocket RCKT, you could look for the break of 337, and that's my whole watch list for right this second.
Damn, bro.
Bill, I will let you go over the futures for a moment. While you do, I'll try to get a text out of some of these that I
We're watching. All right.
Like,
Well, I mean,
Thank you, Mike.
oh,
Thank you.
I had a feeling somebody's got a hot mic.
you guys are welcome to ask questions, but if you
Yeah,
don't have
please do.
questions, please mute your microphones.
Please, 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 please ask questions, but also please, please mute your microphones because I will just lose
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
super
doing.
distracting. You're in the middle of a sentence and then somebody starts talking.
It's Derek. Derek,
Okay.
mute that microphone,
Yeah, I
buddy.
was trying to say thank you. I was just saying thank you, Mike, for the morning wild slates.
Derek, can you mute your microphone for me,
You
please,
hear me?
buddy?
Yeah, I was telling Mike thank you for the watch list this morning.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, awesome. Yeah, you're welcome.
I tried to talk in between y'all words and try to get in, but sometimes I can't.
Yeah. Um, as far as NQ goes this morning, like yesterday's like big dip back down was absolutely amazing. It's probably the first time I've noticed in a while that NQ behaved a little nicer than ES. ES was making like triple bottom and down here over the last several days, and then dipped way
Like, what's
back
your
down.
thought on XII?
Excuse me. Is anybody there? Back to ESNQ. So ES like dipped way back down below and came back up. I'll show you what that looked like yesterday. Absolutely wild. Usually it's NQ that's playing the wild card over here. It did push back down pretty hard. It didn't go too far back down below any prior support, and it did stay above this support back over here from last Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays ago, I guess at this point. But NQ was a little more predictable yesterday for the first time in a while.
I can't hear you, Mike. Is it only me or?
Hello? Who's talking? Somebody's having a mic issue, I think. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
gonna go through and mute everyone that I don't see muted already.
Okay. Now I'm just asking about this XXII. So is literally
it's a
jumping
stock?
now, going down.
We'll go and look at it in a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm talking about Negic. I hope I pronounced that right. Okay. Hold on. Finish this up. I hear
Your
you,
train,
buddy.
didn't it? Now you don't know what you're saying.
Right. That's fine. All right. So yeah. So it got, NQ came right back down to the bottom. ES also made a triple top basically when NQ was trying to break out. So NQ ES kind of fuzzed above its all-time high. NQ sat on top of it. ES fuzzed a bit. NQ spent a whole day up there. We tried to break back above that all-time high this morning pre-market, so it looks like we are trying to reclaim that level. That would be kind of fun to kind of watch a little bit, but it's a little sloppy right now. Looks like it's trying to. At this point, I'm tempted to get rid of this trend line, but every time we get here, even though it is pushing above, falling below, pushing below, above, falling below, pushing above, falling below again, it does seem to be respecting it. Even if not completely right now. So I think I might just leave that until we really kind of break out of this upward pattern that we are trying to maintain at this point on NQ. So let's just see what it kind of gives us. ES tends to be the lead when it comes to kind of showing what we're actually trying to do. And ES is, for the first time, I think I've noticed, on the way back up from the very bottom of this 30% pullback we just recovered from over the last couple months. ES is actually making higher high and a lower low, where that's usually NQ's job to kind of color outside the lines a little bit there. So I think consolidation is kind of what we're looking for at some point. If ES pushes up any more, NQ has the opportunity to go and break all-time highs and keep that higher high, lower high step up coming. So let's kind of look and see what we get as far as ES goes. It is pretty clean when it comes to what we're looking for at this point. If we get over this area right here where it's 6307 and 6311 right here, then we're probably looking for this to stair step back up and actually climb back towards the highs. If we can't maintain this and we come back down and reject off of it, we may wind up coming back down and trying to find some of this lower support back down here again. Hopefully we don't lose that again, and ES can give us something kind of clean to look at. But this is the zone that we're looking to play into until we obviously show some sign of breaking out or pushing in any certain direction. NQ, on the other hand, NQ is a little bit more difficult to read at this point for me, but I am kind of looking for something like this, or potentially kind of stepping up. I would like to see us continue to disrespect this a little bit. It's a much larger trend line, but I'd like to kind of push back over it and reclaim it and really kind of go revisit these this all-time high right here. I'm really kind of looking for, and at this point, probably trying to just manage my expectations here without putting a whole lot of extra lines on this chart because it already has a ton of them. Probably looking for something in this range right here. Looking for the top, or looking for a pullback, that low session we had yesterday before the deep pullback. I think very much so that with ES and NQ kind of digging back down in there, that was definitely manipulation. I think we had hit all-time high. We were traveling back down, and the buyers needed some orders to be filled in order to push this thing back up, which is exactly what they did. Retailers or somebody tried to push this thing back down. Some people had some big orders back down in here waiting for us to get back down to the lower section of this range on NQ and on ES. And they absolutely did exactly what they had planned on doing. They just buy, and then away we go back up to the top side. You can see a little bit of this kind of trend line right here on ES, kind of clean. If you cut a few of these larger chunks out of the bottom. So as long as we can stay above this, and then I think we'll probably kind of grab this top part. It is Thursday, so that's kind of nice. Let me do one thing. I'll stop streaming. I know that's a pain in the butt, but I need to share my entire screen so that I can show you this next thing that I want to do. So hop back on that. Hop back on that second screen, and I'll pull up the economic calendar for the week. We've only got 2 more days left, so let's go. There it is. So today at that 8:30, we had the core retail sales month over month. We also had initial jobless claims, and we had Philadelphia Fed manufacturing. But I don't see a whole lot of manipulation on that 8:30 candle. I mean, it's a little sloppy, and it pushed back up, but it's nothing that would have like scared me. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that's really strange. There's no big manipulation candle at 8:30, which is odd, especially with 3-star news events coming out. Maybe people are kind of wising up and people aren't trading the news candles, or maybe it was the manipulation that happened yesterday and they've already gotten their position, so they don't need to do anything today. But we are overbought right here on the 5-minute short-term RSI. The next 3-star news that we have coming out is, holy crap, that was retail. That was all at 8:30 a.m. this morning. Is that right? Is this some minor different, like?
I think there was some news events today.
Yeah.
It is CPI week.
Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pieces of news came out at 8:30. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were 3-star. And that's all the candle we got. I'm a little shocked. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm a little perplexed as to why it didn't move any more than it did. There's no more 3-star news coming out today. Atlanta Fed GDP at 1 o'clock, I would definitely kind of keep an eye on. If 3-star news events didn't move it, I don't know if 1-2-star news event's going to do it, but Atlanta, Chicago, Philadelphia, they usually have a pretty decent movement rate because of just how much international business they do. And there's no 3-star news tomorrow, which is kind of crazy. The CPI, PPI is already out for the week. So, man, I don't know why it's moving as slow as it is right now, but let's just kind of keep an eye on it. We already kind of have our targets at this point, looking for this to kind of push back over here and hold this. If it pulls back down onto this 1 hour level for me, I will be probably looking to take a long here in just a few minutes. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. For NQ, ES is going to do a little bit more work before we get any longs. Who is smacking in their microphone?
I don't know. I wish I could see who it was.
Somebody's eating breakfast in my ear. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm about to just fucking mute everyone one at a time.
No, they muted it. Somebody's like, oh, yeah, that's not good. Leave George open. I don't know who GG53 is, but there's no noise coming from his mic right now. That's fine. Rocket. Somebody said Rocket is breaking.
Rocket, that was one I just texted too.
Boom.
All right, let's hope. I don't want to lose my fucking win streak this week. I'm at 100% so far.
Freaking.
Not every stock I texted broke out, but everyone that did break out resulted in at least a 15% price target.
Nice.
With no stop losses, if you follow the strategy as I teach. Caveat.
What's that 42 up there? The XXII. Somebody was asking about that one. Did you look? Oh, it's just
that one. I think that was the one that he was saying. Is it just going to continue falling?
Oh,
and that obviously
probably.
we don't know, but it is looking likely because it's below all of the support levels. It's below the VWAP. It's below the 21 EMA. It does look dead in the water.
Yeah. If you let's go look at it up down here.
It's down 50% from its high of last night.
Yeah.
Oh, that was this morning. High of this morning.
22nd century. Oh, sorry. X is 10. My bad. It's 22. That makes more sense. I was like, what's 42? I'm an idiot.
Although this could be a support level right here, right where it's at right now.
That's what I was just about to say. If it's going to find that support, it needs to find it here. It can't break back down below and hold below 78 cents, or it's completely gone. But if it can find that shot here, it could start stepping back up through 61 cents. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean 78 cents. I meant $6.49. My bad. $6.50.
I don't know where you got that number. I was going to let you finish and then ask you what the hell you were talking
My bad.
about.
Yeah, if it breaks down below 650, it's shot probably. If it holds underneath it. If it can dip underneath it and recapture it, I think it's got a shot to climb back up through $7.95, $8.98, $10, $11.27. It'll be the next level I would look at. Of course, you got to get back through VWAP to get back up there. And then, of course, the 1333 is where we kind of stopped at this morning. So,
yeah, what I suspect right now is you could see a bounce from where it is right now. It could bounce up to about that 870 level and then continue to climb back down.
Yeah, about that 9 EMA.
Yeah. Well, for me, the 21 EMA is right here on the 5-minute.
Oh, yeah. I see the 21 EMA. My 21 is right at $9, but...
Okay.
But I'm using TradingView, and sometimes it's a little off.
LCID. This is one I'm gonna kind of ignore for now. It's a $7 billion market cap. It's technically breaking a high right now, but the news is that there's a potential 1-to-10 reverse split coming.
Lucid.
Yeah, I don't know why people. I don't know. Reverse splits often have this effect. When they announce the news, the thing gaps up huge. And then when it actually happens, it falls 50 fucking percent.
Well,
I don't know.
Lucid's like an
splits are
off-brand
always
of
super
Mullen.
funny.
Like there are some hardcore Lucid fans out there. They make some beautiful car. Well, when they make them, they make beautiful cars. They're just really not very profitable as a company at all. So, just starting from the ground up. Again, I bought into Lucid at like $12 and sold it like 60. But it was when they first came out, and they supposedly had this brand new battery technology, and that was supposed to make charges go to like 500 miles or something like that, and then nothing ever came of it. So, blah. That was a long time ago. It was years ago. And NQ's just going to take off without giving us a chance to get in because it's a turd. Oh, okay. Actually, NQ and ES both found support where I had... Oh, no, sorry, that's NQ. So if I had actually been looking at the chart that I had adjusted and not my 1 hour levels, I would have been able to play it. But it's 6 one way, half a dozen another. If I move my 1 hour level later in the day, it's probably going to make a play that I wouldn't have been able to take. So stick with your levels. If you had a zone there and you took it, then good. If not, then it is what it is. You're not going to catch all of them.
I gotta catch them all. This is fucking Pokemon.
If you're playing off the 30-minute chart, that was a beautiful break and retest if you were using that 30-minute zone from yesterday. But I don't. I'm usually typically on my 1 hour. I use the 30-minute for reference to kind of keep it going. But it is what it is. It's moving now. Don't chase it, because if it pulls back, it'll probably pull back pretty hard and you'll shoot yourself in the foot. So. And I've got to go stinking blow my nose. I'm sorry. I know that sounds probably pretty gross, but I'll be right back.
No problem.
I'm leaving the screen recording, so if something, and I'm leaving it on your screen in case something happens while I'm going.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Quick question for you. Can you talk a little bit more about when you send out a text, for example, you say stop loss 15% or under the 21 EMA, just to clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great question. So like on RCKT, this is one I just texted you a few minutes ago. I said I'm looking for the breakout at 337, and I believe that's one that I said exactly what you just said right there. The reason I do that is I draw the trading plan before I take the trade, or in my case, I'm kind of just really good at spotting it. But at least for you guys, if you're looking at my screen share right now, this is what I always do for you guys. So this right here is a 10% loading zone. We want to see it confirm the breakout inside of this yellow box. 2 candles close and open in here. Great. So that's the loading zone. Your take profit zone is going to be 15%. Here's a 15% box. We'll make this one green for your take profit zone. Wherever that breakout confirms, this green box is going to move to wherever your entry is from somewhere in that box. So let's just say it's in the middle. So right here, your 15% profit would be the top of this green box. So bam, right there. Now what you're asking specifically is the stop loss. That would be this bottom box. My worst case scenario is always a 15% loss. I don't take more than a 15% loss on these breakouts here. So again, we don't know where that breakout is yet because it hasn't occurred yet. We're just going to assume it happens in the middle of this yellow box right here. So if you take your entry right here, 15% lower would be the bottom of this red box. That would be a 15% stop loss. But in this one's case, you don't have to go to 15% because as you can see, the 21 EMA, which is our bottom level of support, is only about half of that 15% box right now. So if we want to put the stop loss just beneath the 21 EMA, we're de-risking it. I'd say put it about right here-ish. So as of right this second, that would put your stop loss at like 310, which is only about a 12 or 11% loss if you got filled right here. Now, we don't really know where we're going to get filled yet because the breakout hasn't occurred yet. If you get filled down here, maybe it breaks out just barely above the breakout level, then your stop loss is only going to be like 10% in that scenario. So you don't have to do the full 15% stop loss when the 21 EMA and the VWAP are closer to that breakout level, like we are seeing on RCKT here. The 21 EMA, which is this yellow line right here on my screen, and the VWAP, which is this red line on my screen right here, they are both really close to that breakout level. So this one's not as risky of a trade. That's what I like to see when these breakouts occur, is that when it initially made this breakout, it pulled back, it consolidated for over an hour now, and it allowed these lines, the indicators, time to catch up to the current price action. So it just makes the trade less risky for us. I don't want to take a 15% loss if I don't have to. And I know there's going to be 3 levels of support that I can find once it breaks out. The first level of support is going to be that breakout level because that was our old level of resistance. So if this breaks out and it falls back down and it doesn't immediately go green for us, the first place it can find support is the breakout level that I called, which is going to be 337 in this one's case. The next place it can find support is going to be the VWAP, this red line, and the last place it's going to find support is going to be that 21 EMA. If it breaks below all 3 of those, it's probably dead in the water, and you can just go ahead and cut your losses. So if you see it close and open under the 21 EMA, you don't have to wait for it to come down and hit the full 15% loss. You can just cut your losses right there once it closes and opens below the 21 EMA. So maybe you're only taking like an 11% loss instead of the 15% loss. Did all that make sense?
Yeah, I got it. So just a little bit more conservative way, because once it has broken all 3 of those, the probability of it making a bounce, even if it went down to 14%, say that was past your last line of defense on the 21 EMA, it's just not probable, right?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it is possible. There's no guarantees in the market whatsoever, but once it breaks below all 3 of those levels of support, it's just very likely that it's going to continue more of a downtrend from that point. So why lose 15% when you only have to lose 10 or 11%?
Yeah, love it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And then I was just going to say, have a look at VLCN. It just blasted past our 10% level while we've been talking on this current candle that hasn't closed yet.
Yeah, I see that. That's way past our entry zone on it.
So another follow-up on that, though.
Top wick.
So when it does something like this, will you stay away from it then, because it just has gone too fast on a single candle?
Not necessarily, but in this one's case, it does have one big red flag that this is a massive wick. The wick alone on it is 30% right this second, and this whole candle's 54%. So this one's kind of a caveat. At this point, if I were to trade it, I would treat it more like a scalp and not a breakout, because this yellow box I drew is your 10% loading zone, and we are way past that right now. You're already more than double that. So there's your 10%. You're already up 25% from that. So I wouldn't treat this as a breakout strategy if I were to get in right now. If I were to get in right now, I know that I'm chasing, and then I'm just going to look for like a 5% gain on it. So you could buy right this second and then hope it goes up 5% and get out. Or if it comes down 5%, get out. You don't want to risk 15% loss for a 5% gain. And you just know that this one just became extremely risky because this candle is so massive. It moved so big, so quick. And I can just guess by looking that, yeah, look at that huge volume increase.
Holy
It
crap.
was trading like 10 to 50,000 shares per candle, and then it went up to 500,000 shares. So now you can see it did confirm the breakout right here, but it confirmed that breakout like literally 25% past the breakout. So for that one there, I just wouldn't take the trade right there. It's just, it broke too high. Now, I like the load within 10%. If this had occurred a little lower, like down here, like maybe it broke out 15% past it, I can look for entry on a pullback. This one, though, I don't want to necessarily look for entry on a pullback because that's too big of a pullback. It just broke too high is all. So for this one, I would just skip the trade entirely.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, and then what I don't like about this right here is And it's again, nothing is concrete or guaranteed, but with this huge long top wick right here, it's indicative that we already filled all of the buy orders. Everyone who was in this stock that was willing to buy above this level, they already bought. Their orders have already been filled. And that's kind of why you're seeing this huge long top wick. And now you're seeing sellers start to take over. And you can even see it right here in the level 2 data. There are no significant buy orders right here. These are all relatively small numbers right now. And then as I'm coming over here to the sell data, there's no massive numbers here. There's no big sell blocks. But you can tell just by a quick glance that the sellers are outnumbering the buyers right now.
Hey, that was a great question, and Mike, that was a great detailed breakdown.
Just a couple of reasons
That
why
shit
I
was
wouldn't.
very awesome.
Why I wouldn't chase this one. Let's bounce around, see what else we had here. So XII, somebody was asking about earlier. It's trying to find that initial support right here, but it's looking ugly. If you're still in this trade, I don't know why you are, because you have to be down way more than 15% at this point. I don't know where you were buying, but I'm going to assume you're down more than 15%, and I don't know what strategy you're trying to aim for, but that's too big of a loss in most cases. Unless it's a long-term hold for you, in which case today's price action doesn't fucking matter. I've been holding XRP for 5+ years. I've been holding NWBO for 5+ years. Sometimes I'm down on those investments way more than 20, 40%, and sometimes I'm up way more than 40%. But because those are long-term holds for me, I don't care about daily price action. So if this one is a long-term hold for you, I don't know anything at all about the company. If this one's a long-term hold for you, then who cares what's happening today? If it's a day trade, though, you should never be down more than like 15% on a day trade. You're doing it wrong if you're taking losses bigger than 15% on day trades.
Consistently. Yeah. Like getting out at 17% because you were trying to get at 15%. It's like, okay. But if you're like, I don't know, I'll hit like a 17, then I hit a 22, then I got 25, then I got 19, and that's all you're doing, you're never getting out at net close to 15%, you need to change your strategy up a little bit.
Do you guys not make a trade unless you have your stop loss set?
But XII, I don't know why this would be I mean, I don't know anything all about the company, so I can't judge them. I can't say it's a shit company, but I can see that it's only a $2 million market cap.
So, good question. Somebody asked, do we never enter a trade unless we have a stop loss set? Well, unfortunately, in the pre-market, you can't use stop losses. Market orders and stop losses don't work in pre-market. So everything you have to do has to be a manual limit order. So the cool thing about most brokerages, like Webull, TradingView, especially if you have something connected to TradingView, is you're just really soft. Is that like if you have a limit order set up at your take profit area, as long as you have extended hours on, you make sure you go into your order and make sure the extended hour confirmation is on before you place that limit order. Or again, it'll just wait till market open anyway. But like if you've got it there and it comes up and hits your target price, then boom, you're out at your 10 or 15%. And then if it pulls back and it actually starts closing and opening below that VWAP in 21, or starts getting close to your 15% stop loss, you can take your limit order, drag it down beneath the price, just underneath your stop loss zone, and if it gets down there, let it go, and it'll confirm that it'll confirm the limit order underneath the price, back underneath, and you can use that limit order to get out quickly. So,
real quick, meanwhile, IQST, this is one of I kind of like it as a long-term play. IQST just came out with new news this morning, a few minutes ago. Earlier this year, IQST said that they thought they were going to do $340 million in revenue by the end of this year. And for the 5 years that I've been following IQST, they have always beaten every single revenue forecast. Most companies at the beginning of the year, they tell their shareholders what they think they're going to do by the end of the year. Not all of them always meet their expectations, but IQST I've never seen not beat their expectations. So beginning of this year, they said they're going to do $340 million. They just posted their revenue for this year so far. It's at $129 million, and they expect to reach $400 million by Q3 of this year. So they think they're going to beat their $340 million revenue forecast by more than $60 million, and they're going to beat it 3 months ahead of schedule. So that is fucking huge. On that note, I don't know. They didn't say what they expect by the end of the year at this point, but just judging off of those couple of paragraphs that I'm reading from here, it means, hell, they may do over $500 million in revenue this year. That's fucking insane. And you can see they are going up a little bit. Price today, up 4% today, which probably puts them in about the 50 stocks of the whole market today. We can see the top 20 right here on the Webull top gainers list. The top 20, when you get down to number 20 here, is 12% for the day. So right now, IQST is one of the probably top, I'm just guessing right here, probably one of the top 50 moving stocks for the day right now. That's fucking huge. I've been on this one for a long time. I believe in the long-term outlook of this company because they literally fucking grow every year. Yeah. It was like 6 years ago they did 18 million in revenue, and now this year they're likely going to do close to 500 million. It's fucking insane.
And they're also really good at diversifying their company, which is probably really good for, they've got several different like outlets inside of their company. They've got communications, they got the EV market that they're doing, and they're not targeting US. They've got like countries where like it would be super cheap, very accessible, like EV vehicles, like motorcycles and cars and things like that. And if you haven't, well, shoot, you can't go back and watch any of the IQSD videos. It's so stupid. But like the company itself is just pretty awesome, and the fact that they're going to hit, they're planning on hitting over 400,000 by quarter 3, could mean that they're looking to start diversifying some of that extra income back into their R&R. And like R&D, not R&R, R&D, and actually start growing some of these other smaller pieces of the company that haven't quite become profitable yet. But they've got such a good business plan. Mike, you should see if you can get them an interview with them again and see kind of like what an update is.
So I already have one lined up. It was supposed to be this week, but they pushed it back one more week. So this coming Wednesday, so literally less than 1 week from today, this Wednesday, I will be interviewing all of their executives.
Holy crap.
I plan to release the full video this coming Thursday, so 1 week from today.
I had no clue. I had no idea. Are we going to be able to like sit in on that at all? Like we used to?
This one I am just going to do with them.
Okay.
They don't have a ton of time slotted out right now that they're on the fucking NASDAQ. I guess they're busier. But I do plan to bring them in the Discord in the near future as well. Dude. They said they're open to it. They want to do it. But this next one, I'm just sitting down with them for an hour. So to make it kind of quicker, I've already got a bunch of questions lined up. If you guys have any questions you want me to ask them, please let me know. Tag me in the stock chat or whatever. And this Wednesday, I'm going to be interviewing their executive team, which is going to be their CEO, their CFO, and their COO, and their chief marketing officer as well. So the 4 of them and me, I'll be asking them questions. I'll cut out all the fluff and filler words and whatnot in the editing, and I'll release that video this coming Thursday.
That would be awesome. So 1 week from today. I didn't know that. That would have been the most epic setup ever if I actually knew that and wrote that like segue.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be this week. They pushed it back. I think because they wanted this. I think they knew this news was coming out, and they wanted it to be included in the interview, so we can kind of talk about it.
Can people in here, can they ask questions? Can they send you questions to possibly ask them?
Yeah, absolutely. Just tag me in the stock chat or in this chat right here. Just let me know what questions you want me to ask them. I've got like a little sheet right now that I already whipped up with the help of my new best friend, ChatGPT.
All right, cool. Well, this is like all being recorded right now. If you're new and or you're rewatching this YouTube video later, and you have any questions for IQST, maybe you're a longtime fan, maybe you're a new guy, or a new lady who's looking to potentially invest in a newer company that you're just learning some more stuff about, and you got some like hardcore questions, send them in to the way that Mike asked you to. You can reach out here in the Discord. You can comment on the YouTube video, whatever you want. And we'll put those into the mix. Of course, Mike's going to pick from the best ones and try to make sure that he gets the most important stuff covered. So it's not guaranteed it'll get in there, but ask away. That'd be awesome. Maybe get some good ideas in here. All right. So as far as this goes, doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot else kind of going on, man. NQ finally double top back over here, basically on the session high. Wicked a little bit above it, but nothing too serious. We got some candle closes and opens right at that. Like if we were on SPY and I saw that, I'd be like, oh yeah, we broke the high, but on this NQ, we're sitting at 23,000. So I mean, a couple of points is not going to, break it. I do think here at this point, ES is making that higher high too. So the fact that ES is just slinging its weight around right now is actually kind of wild. That now that NQ is the one kind of being a little more tame right now. So, so we'll kind of wait and see. At this point, we're kind of waiting for either a retest back on for ES, a retest kind of back down here in this area. Let me put my step on so it makes a little more sense for me later. So looking for a retest potentially right back down to this area. Dang it. Keep grabbing the freaking line. Right back down here to the 1 hour 21 EMA, which is what this yellow step is. Same thing for NQ. It could kind of pull back down in here. But both of them have support before we get back down there. Of course, like when you're looking at NQ, we've got that 30-minute zone that we're kind of sitting on, and we got the 1 hour zone that's sitting just a tad higher, not much more higher. But ES also has the double top for its for the session so far that we're kind of back over. So maybe we can stay out of that range and hold above it. We got about 18 minutes till market open right here, so it could get a little volatile, a little choppy. Just leaving these on here just for now to kind of watch and see what's going on. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so we got. I don't want to do that. I don't want to mark that on this one. I want to mark it right here. So here at this point, we could potentially see some probably pretty heavy resistance or support, hopefully right around this area. If we can't, then I'm just looking for it to fall back, all the way and kind of see what range we're kind of boxing ourselves out. So bigger range, like we talked about earlier for NQ, is from top to, basically, the bottom of this pre-market session, this early market session, I should say, on NQ. I'm not really looking for anything to dig back down as deep as it did yesterday during the shop. The NQ during the NASDAQ New York session, blah. But I would love to kind of see us stay here. If we can stay here on the NQ and then break out and step over, or break under and step out that way, then that's kind of what I'm looking for on NQ. But ES looks like it's ready to kind of start moving back up again. We will see if it does what it did yesterday, and it's just being hairy and stepping outside of its stepping outside of the batter's box just to kind of swing back in. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing for today so far. 15-minute opening range breakout is always a really good spot to kind of look for. Let's go look at SPY really quick. The fact that we've already reclaimed 625 on SPY is pretty telling, in my opinion. We're already closing and opening candles above the 625.20. Hitting that 625.50 and 60 range right here. We need to get back above 625.80. If we can close above that, watch for 626 back up to back up to 628 on SPY, which should be pretty normal since we've already kind of gotten back up there. If not, if we lose this in VWAP retest, obviously. If we lose VWAP on SPY, look for a stair step back down to like that 623.60, 623.80 level, And then, of course, if we can lose that, then 623 even should be pretty well on the table for us here. So just kind of watching for your levels, watching for some action at any of these. Let's go ahead and mark this on SPY. Right, need to see a candle close above that. We're probably coming back down to visit this VWAP. If we can't hold that, then maybe we swing back down underneath it and start shooting for 623.80 back down here for the day. And then we see what happens at that point. So basically the same style we have on ES and NQ at this point. But a little wider on SPY actually. So looks like it might be this. Boom, look at that. All right, cool. Anything else in the penny stock world there? Mike,
No, I see somebody, Fox just shared in the stock chat, Vulcan announced a $500 million private placement to initiate a Bitcoin treasury strategy.
Oh.
I've noticed since Bitcoin hit these all-time new highs, tons of stocks, including CYCU, have started announcing these Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum private placement treasury strategies. And to oversimplify it, all that means is these companies are devoting X amount of dollars. In Vulcan's case, they're devoting $500 million to, how does that even make sense? Their market cap's only 5 million.
Maybe it's for future like purchases. Maybe they're just like, we're just gonna keep going until we have 500 million in Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he had a typo there. I didn't see the news yet myself. I just see what Fox shared. 500 million doesn't make sense for a market cap of 5 million. But either way, they basically just made a press release saying that they're going to, over time, spend $500 million to buy Bitcoin at strategic entry prices. So when they think it's a good support level or whatever, they're going to put some money into Bitcoin. That's the same thing CYCU announced a couple of days ago, but CYCU only said 10 million, which definitely made more sense compared to their market cap. And then they said theirs was Ethereum, I believe. But it seems like all these companies are pushing these crypto initiatives right now. They're trying to take advantage of the hype because Bitcoin's at an all-time new high. XRP is basically all-time new high. XRP, which is my favorite crypto, 324 as I speak right now. Super fucking exciting. I love looking at my Uphold account on these days. So any company that can just come out right now and say, hey, we're going to start buying Bitcoin, they know that it's going to get them positive press.
Yeah, they've been doing that for like 3 months now.
Which, you know, is kind of good and bad for these companies. It's it's not really bad, but it's kind of dumb in the sense that they announce they're going to start buying when things hit all-time new highs. Like, even the dumbest traders know you want to buy at the bottom, sell at the top. So why did they wait for it to hit an all-time new high to say, hey, we're going to start buying Bitcoin? The fucker, where have you been for the last 10 years?
It's the mayor. It's the mayor of the town who goes and takes a picture of the garbage man who accidentally saved somebody because he's just looking for good press, you know.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's all-time new high. They know that search results are high. That's when retail investors always feel the FOMO, fear of missing out. They're like, oh my God, Bitcoin's at 117. Let me Google the shit out of it now. Even though I should have been buying it for the last 5 years, let me place the buy order now. That's FOMO.
Yeah.
It's all FOMO, Mike. You know that.
Yeah.
Mike?
Fucking love it. Keep FOMOing into XRP. Buy it right now.
Right?
Exactly.
Pump it up to $9 for it.
Rocket just hit
bag.
337.
My bags is packed.
Someone said Rocket just hit 337.
How about the government of Germany selling Bitcoin on the down when it was like 50K? Now it's up, over 100% when they sold it. So fun.
The government of Germany sold it at 50K?
Yeah. They had like a whole bunch of Bitcoin, and then everybody was making fun of them, and they were sending like itty bitty Bitcoin to the wallet. And they were all saying, "Have fun staying poor," and now look at it.
Vulcan looks like it tried to break out.
Rocket did just break out right now. RCKT It broke out right before market open. That's a little scary, but it gave you a good entry. You're entering within just a couple of percent. You're entering, yeah, literally within 2% of that breakout level. And now, so just as I was describing a little bit ago with that 21 EMA, because it took like another 20 minutes from that last discussion we had with it, the 21 EMA is even higher than it was before. So now your stop loss would be below that. Probably put it just below this wick right here. So your stop loss on this one now would be about 314, 315, which means you are only looking at like a 7% loss right there on it, depending on where you got filled somewhere right here. You're only looking at like a 7% loss. And if you're still aiming for a 15% price target, that's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So that is looking pretty good right now with RCKT. But I don't.
Where is it at on the list?
RCKT is
okay, so it's just under 20%. So I would. It's probably not going to move super fast if it moves there. You might not get 15% out of that one unless it just absolutely takes off. So.
Yep. The volume on it is good. The market cap is good. The float. It's kind of a big float for price. Let's look at the order book. Got some buys right here at 330, 320. Got some sells at 360. That's a big sell right there. And 389. Both of those are before our price target. All these buys don't really matter because it's people trying to buy way the hell down here. I don't even know why these orders are active. Bitch, it's not coming to 268. At least not right now. You fucking just get rid of these orders. It's fugazi.
It's just people having stuff open. They don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of silly though. Like, unless you're in it for the long term, then I guess it doesn't matter. But
right,
like you putting a buy order down here, knowing it's up here, so you're telling me you want the stock to come down 30%? Why? If you're long term on the company, why do you want it to retrace 30%?
It's probably just orders people had done in there, and they're not looking at the computer. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just talking.
Yeah, could be. Pretty well could be.
All right.
But it's that kind of stuff that creates that market open volatility too. You can see all of these orders sitting down here at 263, and then you have orders up here even at 338, and even orders up here at 798. That is such a massive spread. So what you see at market open every day is market makers like to fill as many orders as possible. So at 930, you constantly see these stocks that go up 40% and down 40% in the same 5-minute candle. And it's just because market makers, they make a small, let's call it 1 penny. I'm oversimplifying it, but let's say they make 1 penny on every share that's traded because they're filling your order, and they're like, ooh, look at all these pennies we can make. Let's just go ahead and fill all of these fucking orders right now, and we're gonna make tens of millions of dollars in the first couple of minutes of market open because we're just going to fill everyone's fucking order for better or for worse. Even if the stock just comes at 10-15 minutes into market open, the stock price will still be right here at 340. But for that 5 to 10 minute period, it's going to go up 40%, down 40%, and then settle right back in the middle. That is literally just market makers fucking you to fill their own pockets.
Even though we did find some resistance and pullback, this is a good case for some potential upside momentum at market open. We want to be careful here.
And what?
For NQ. Sorry, now was my bad. For NQ. The sellers are kind of pushing it back down still a little bit right now.
All right, we're about 5 minutes from market open. I'm going to go ahead and take a little 10-minute break. I'm going to let the dog out and feed the dog, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and wrap this recording up. I'll get it posted back on here later, and we'll see you guys back here in about 6 or 10 minutes or so.
Okay, I'll be back.
All right.